The Serengeti is a wild paradise, but also a battlefield of life and death. A place where life and death are only a breath apart. Are the rulers always invincible? And what happens when the seemingly weak prey dares to fight back? The fierce Serengeti. Zebra kicks a lion away in the battle for survival. When the red dawn dyes the endless grasslands, every breath here contains danger. Life and death are only a moment apart, and in the fierce dance of nature, no species is truly safe. Whether ruler or weak prey, all must face constant challenges. Amidst the dense yellow grass, a figure crawls silently. Its golden eyes are like fire, always watching every movement of the herbivores in the distance. That is the lion, the lord of the Serengeti grasslands. Its body is the embodiment of muscular strength. Each step is supple, the tail gently wagging to maintain balance. In adult males, the golden or dark mane spreads out around the head like a halo, both protecting the throat during combat and symbolizing power and attraction to females. Lions are not only predators. They are the only species in the cat family that lives in groups. A family can consist of several dozen individuals, bound together in a strict social order. Females play the role of main hunters, cooperating with each other to bring down large prey. Males, with superior strength, are responsible for protecting the territory and fighting against intruders. Their resounding roars can be heard more than 8 kilometers away, like a declaration of ownership over a large piece of land. In nature, lions are a symbol of balance. They control the number of antelopes, zebras, and buffaloes to ensure that the savanna is not overloaded. But behind that majesty, the lion's life is always challenging. Hunger and thirst can last for days, forcing them to devote all their strength to each hunt. A small mistake means failure, and failure means death is near. On the Serengeti grassland, morning gradually turns to noon. The sun is hotter. The ground radiates a sweltering heat. In the distance, a herd of zebras is busy grazing. The black and white stripes sway like a mirage in the hot air. But to the lion, it is not a beautiful scene, but an invitation. In the shade of the grass, a lioness presses her body close to the ground. Every muscle in her body is tense. Her sharp eyes do not leave the target. Then suddenly, the hunt breaks out. The lion rolls over, trying to get out. The herd of zebras seizes the opportunity, rushing like a whirlwind, escaping the clutches of death. In an instant, the balance of power turned. The predator became the loser, and the seemingly weak prey escaped death thanks to its hidden strength. On the Serengeti grasslands, even the king sometimes had to taste defeat. After defeat, the lions dispersed, quietly finding shade from dense trees to rest. The Serengeti midday sun shone down on their golden manes, covering their tired bodies with a layer of burning light. The dry wind blew through the grass, leaving only the heavy breathing of the hunters who had just missed their prey. In the dry grass nearby, a sweet scene contrasted with the brutal battle. The mother lion lay down, her legs wrapped around her small cubs. The tiny heads burrowed into their mother's belly, looking for warm milk. They were only a few weeks old. Their eyes were still cloudy. Their gait was unsteady, easily becoming prey for hyenas or eagles if not protected. The mother lion gently holds a cub in her mouth, moving it to a safer location. The image seems gentle, but in fact it is a harsh survival instinct. Any mistake means death. After failures and hunger, the lion continues its life cycle. Each cub grows up to be a miracle, exchanged for the resilience of the whole pride. Because in the Serengeti, life has never been easy. The Serengeti sun was slowly setting. The golden light was replaced by the darkness creeping down on the grassland. It was at that moment that the opportunists began to rise. From afar came the eerie sound of a hoarse, resounding, and shrill laughter. It was the hyena, a notorious scavenger, but also a formidable predator. Its muscular body was tapered towards the front, but tapered towards the back, making its gait look limp, but it gave it extraordinary endurance. They possessed large, powerful jaws, with the strongest bite force among African carnivores, capable of crushing even the thick bones of buffalo or antelope. Its eyes glowed in the grass, its ears stood erect, and each step was as silent as if carrying the scent of death. The group of hyenas slowly approached. the scent of blood in the air guiding them. In the corner of the grassland, a lioness had just brought down a small antelope, a rare meal after many days of failure. But before they could settle down, wild laughter rang out all around them. The mottled shadows of the hyenas flickered. Their circle tightening, the lions roared, trying to protect their spoils, while the opportunists outnumbered them many times over. The air was thick, tense to the point of suffocation. And then the fight broke out. Its roar echoed, deep and fierce, like a summoning of death. The hyenas hesitated, then dispersed one by one, leaving the battlefield stained with the smell of blood and flesh. In the Serengeti, victory is never complete. A meal won with blood and pain, in exchange for another day of life. But it is also this fierce scene that shows the harsh truth of nature here, that life does not belong to the strongest, but to the most resilient. As the Serengeti sun began to set behind the horizon, the sky was dyed a fiery orange. Above, huge black shadows circled. They were vultures. Their wings spread wide, gliding in the hot air, their cold eyes scanning the battlefield. They waited patiently, because they knew that no hunt would end without leaving behind remnants. The vultures landed, their wings flapping vigorously, stirring up dust. Their powerful beaks quickly dug in, tearing at the remaining flesh. The sound of their wings mixed with the creepy sound of bones being torn. But behind that horror was an indispensable role, keeping the steppe from being covered in corpses and disease. The vultures' bodies were proof of special evolution. Their featherless heads and necks kept them from getting blood and bacteria when they dug deep into rotting carcasses. Their curved and strong beaks were strong enough to break hard joints. Their sharp eyes allowed them to detect traces of death from hundreds of meters in the air. Their long, wide wings allow them to circle for hours, and a single blast of hot air is enough to send them soaring. Without effort, in the red sunset, vultures jostle and fight, turning leftovers into a chaotic feast. Nothing is wasted. The death of one species becomes life for another. And it is they, the despised ones, who are the silent guardians of the fragile balance of the Serengeti. While the mist of the Serengeti lingers on the grasslands, the new morning opens another circle of survival. Far away, in the midst of the sea of yellow grass, a slender figure moves gently past. It is the fastest creature on the planet, the cheetah, walking silently, its slender body clearly visible under the bright sunlight. Its pale yellow fur is dotted with small black spots, blending into the dry grass. Its eyes are rimmed with two black streaks that extend down its cheeks. Like tears. It is not only a mysterious beauty, but also a tool to help it reduce the glare of the sun, focusing its eyes on prey at a distance. Each step of the cheetah is as light as the wind, but hidden within it is the power of deadly speed. The non-retractable claws, like rivets, firmly grip the ground every time it breaks free. The flexible spine, wide chest, and strong heart allow it to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. In just a few seconds. But speed is a double-edged sword. It can only maintain the chase for less than a minute. If it fails, the cheetah will be exhausted and miss the chance to survive. Unlike lions or hyenas, cheetahs choose solitude. They usually operate alone, or sometimes with males in small groups called coalitions, joining forces to increase their chances of taking down prey. Its strategy is not strength or numbers, but opportunism, targeting calves or weak individuals at the edge of the herd. Everything is bet on the single explosive moment of a life and death chase. In the distance, a herd of antelopes is leisurely grazing. The cheetah lies pressed against the ground, its entire body tense like a spring, its bright yellow eyes watching the lost antelope. Suddenly, it jumps up. After just a few breaths, its sharp teeth tighten around its throat, and silence falls over the grassland again. The cheetah stands panting, its body burning from the sprint. It bent down to devour each piece of meat, because time was not on its side. The smell of blood would soon attract hyenas, vultures, or even lions. For the cheetah, victory comes in a moment, but fragility always lurks behind every meal. But on the Serengeti, it is not only speed that determines survival. The rainy season passed. The Serengeti gradually dried up. In the distance, the ground cracked, the grass turned yellow. Herds of wildebeest began their endless journey of the Great Migration. Hundreds of thousands of individuals moved like black clouds rolling across the grasslands, the sound of their hooves pounding the ground. They were driven by instinct and hunger, seeking greener pastures on the other side of the Mara River. But the river was not just a journey, but a pass of life and death. Hidden under the murky water were giant shadows, the Nile crocodiles. This is the largest reptile in Africa, which can grow to over 5 meters long and weigh nearly a ton. Their entire bodies are covered in ancient armor. Thick, rough, rugged scales, as hard as steel, both for protection and perfect camouflage in the water. The crocodile's giant jaw is one of the most fearsome weapons on the planet. Dozens of sharp teeth grow in neat rows, with a bite force many times stronger than that of a lion, enough to crush the thick bones of buffalo or deer. Once those steel teeth close, no prey can escape. They do not bite to tear flesh, but to hold on tightly, then perform a death roll and sink the victim into the water. The crocodile's cold yellow eyes float on the water, motionless as logs. Patiently, silently, they lie in wait like ancient ghosts, and when the moment comes, all their strength is put into a sudden attack. The herd of wildebeests rushes down to the riverbank. The neighing and screaming of panic filled the sky as they jumped into the swirling water. The water splashed white. The river's surface shook as thousands of bodies swam by. And that was when the jaws of death closed. Then, boom, the giant crocodile rushed up from the bottom of the water. The water was dyed red with blood. Around, more crocodiles rushed in, creating a deadly whirlwind. But not all fell. Most of the herd still crossed the river, water flowing down their trembling bodies. They continued their journey to the promised land, where the green grass awaited. The death of a few individuals was the price for thousands of lives to continue to exist. Serengeti is a wild paradise where life and death always go hand in hand. Here, no strong person is immortal, nor is any weak person completely hopeless. Strength, speed, intelligence, or solidarity are all just weapons to fight against the harsh challenges of nature. And it is in that fragility that the ecological circle is maintained, so that the grassland continues to resound with the eternal music of life. Do you find the zebra's kick so majestic and exciting? Leave a comment below the video about your feelings, and hit the bell. Subscribe to continue to explore the dramatic counterattacks in our wildlife world. In the arid Kalahari Desert, the Okavango Delta appears as an oasis. But hidden behind that beauty is an arena of life and death, where ancient predators wait for the moment to turn the gentle waters into a nightmare. Will the creatures here have enough strength to overcome the harsh challenges of nature? The cruel Okavango, the bloody attack between crocodiles and Cape buffalo. The sun rises high. The golden light spills over the vast grasslands and endless reed forests. From above, the Okavango appears like a living maze, the rivers branching out, winding through mudflats, swamps, and sparkling lakes. But beneath the seemingly calm waters are hidden shadows, where a predator patiently waits for the moment to strike. Under the murky water, a giant black shadow silently slithers. It was the Nile crocodile, an ancient predator that had ruled this place for millions of years. Its body was more than 5 meters long. It weighed half a ton. Its skin was as thick and rough as iron armor. It was as motionless as a rotten log. Only its cold yellow eyes were floating on the water's surface. Its sharp teeth were tightly closed, hiding a crushing power that could break the bones of any creature that dared to come into the river. Every heartbeat, every ripple was under the control of this silent killer. And it only needed one chance to turn the gentle water into an execution ground. From afar, the ground shook under the footsteps of a giant herd of Cape buffalo. Hundreds of muscular bodies their horns curved and sharp like weapons of war, marched together towards the water's edge. The sound of heavy breathing and the sound of hooves pounding the mud echoed throughout the steppe. In the scorching heat of the Okavango region, water is life. The herd of buffaloes crowded the riverbank, bowing their heads to drink each cool sip. Little did they know, right under the seemingly peaceful water, a silent death was waiting. Under the murky water, the crocodile was completely motionless. Each small air bubble escaping from its nose disappeared in silence. Its yellow eyes flashed under the harsh sunlight, following every step of the buffalo herd approaching the water's edge. In an instant, the crocodile jumped out of the water. Its roar echoed throughout the swamp. The buffalo herd panicked and scattered, mud and water splashing everywhere. The crocodile pulled hard, dragging the buffalo down into the deep water, where death was only a breath away. The tug of war between the crocodile and the buffalo herd ended. The water gradually returned to its calm state. But behind the bloody hunting scenes, the crocodile also harbored another primitive instinct, the preservation of the species. When the rainy season comes, the floodwaters flood the plains. The female crocodiles leave the river, using their snouts and bodies to pile up dry grass, rotten leaves, and mud into large nests along the banks. Inside, they cleverly hide their eggs, the treasures of continued life. For weeks, the mother crocodile stands guard, ready to attack anyone who comes near. When the eggs crack, the faint sounds from the cubs ring out. The mother crocodile gently uses her snout to carry each baby into the water. Despite being notorious killers, their maternal instincts make them resilient protectors. From millions of years ago to the present, crocodiles still retain their unchanging instincts, a testament to their absolute adaptability. In the bloody arena of the Okavango, they are not only predators, but also living witnesses to the immortal power of nature. The noon sun casts a golden light on the calm water. Small ripples spread out, reflecting the blue sky. The reeds along the shore swayed gently in the gentle breeze, creating a gentle rhythm of the marsh. In the midst of that peaceful scene, a brilliant blue color suddenly flashed, gliding across the water. It was the kingfisher. The living jewel of the Okavango. With a compact body only about 15 to 20 centimeters long, emerald green feathers combined with a bright orange color on the chest, the kingfisher stood out in the swamp space. Sharp black eyes, long and sharp beak like a spear, making it a skilled hunter. From a tree branch protruding from the water, the kingfisher stood still, watching every smallest movement below the waves. In just a moment, it swooped down at a speed of more than 40 kilometers per hour, piercing straight through the water, its sharp beak accurately piercing the unfortunate young fish. Its eyes were protected by a transparent membrane, a special mechanism that allowed it to see clearly even while diving through the water. During breeding season, pairs of kingfishers dig nests deep in the banks, which can be up to a meter long. The female lays 4 to 7 small white eggs, and both parents take turns incubating them, then bringing each small fish home to feed. In their world, parental love is expressed with rare patience and devotion. However, life is never safe. Snakes, large birds of prey, and even lizards lurk around the kingfisher's nests. Nevertheless, with her agile wings and ability to hide among the reeds, this small bird still exists proudly, a brilliant piece in the Okavango ecological picture. As the sun gradually sets in the afternoon, the golden orange light spreads across the dry mounds of land on the edge of the swamp. In the distance, a shrill cry echoes, mixed with the rumbling noise, as if signaling another world out there. Away from the still waters, on the high slopes where a complex and dramatic society is taking place, the world of the baboon. Baboons are one of Africa's largest and most complex primates, present throughout the Okavango region. Their bodies are solid, can be more than 1 meter long, weighing up to 30 or 40 kilograms in adult males. The most easily recognizable feature is the long snout with protruding jaws and fangs that can be up to 5 centimeters long, enough to damage any challenger. Their thick gray-brown fur, sometimes shining silver in the afternoon sun, helps them blend into the landscape of bush and arid savanna. They spend a lot of time foraging for fruits, roots, insects, and even hunting small antelopes or baby birds. But baboons are not defined by muscle power alone. They are intelligent, agile primates with excellent memories and a highly social life. A group can number up to hundreds of individuals, tightly organized in a hierarchical system where the ultimate power belongs to the alpha male. This position means access to food, females, and absolute respect from the entire group. However, this position is always fragile, as young rivals constantly watch and wait for the opportunity to rebel. A young male with a muscular body and sharp fangs has been silently challenging the old man who has dominated the group for many years. The atmosphere is tense across the land. Growls and hisses echo like a call to arms for the inevitable confrontation. And then, the battle for the throne breaks out. The tug of war ends when the young male screams in pain and runs away, leaving behind a shattered dream of power. In the world of baboons, strength and daring are the only tickets to the pinnacle of power. And each such battle is the clearest proof of the fierceness hidden behind the seemingly cohesive social shell. The sun gradually lowered. The red-orange light spread across the sparkling water. A gentle wind blew through the reed forests, creating a rustling sound like the evening music of the swamp. As the last sunlight faded, from afar came the bustling sounds, not of birds, but of high-pitched, urgent, and energetic barks. On the open savanna, a pack of African wild dogs suddenly appeared. The African wild dog is one of the most effective predators on the continent. With a slim body, about 80 centimeters tall, weighing 20 to 30 kilograms, they are covered with mottled yellow, black and white fur that is unique to each individual, like a fingerprint. The large round ears not only help increase hearing, but also help dissipate heat in the harsh heat of the Okavango region. What makes wild dogs so scary is not their individual strength, but their perfect coordination in the pack. They move as a unified unit, communicating with barks, high-pitched hisses, and subtle body signals. Speeds can reach 60 kilometers per hour, and their endurance allows them to chase prey for kilometers. It is this perseverance and coordination that helps their hunting success rate reach nearly 80%, higher than any other carnivore in Africa. On the Okavango savanna, the pack of wild dogs moves constantly, their large ears perked up, their eyes shining in the sunset. They suddenly stop, simultaneously looking towards the distance, where a herd of antelope is leisurely grazing, completely unaware of the approaching death. The pack of dogs lowers their bodies, each step quietly approaching. Not a sound, only rapid breathing and eyes filled with determination. Then suddenly, the whole pack rushes forward like an arrow. The antelope collapses in despair, its miserable cries quickly swallowed by the excited growls of the whole pack. However, after the prey falls, the scene changes. Not the chaos of fighting, but clear order. The young ones step forward, getting priority to eat the first piece of meat, then the weak and injured individuals. Only then do the adults join in. In the cycle of survival, sharing becomes the bond that binds the pack, an immutable rule that has helped them survive for thousands of years. After the fiery feast on the savannah, the African wild dogs return to their daily routine. Within the strict social structure, only the alpha pair has the right to reproduce. This is an immutable rule, ensuring the stability and cohesion of the whole group. During the mating months, the alpha female digs a deep underground burrow, usually an abandoned burrow of aardvarks or honey badgers. This will become a safe haven for the upcoming litter. After about 70 days of pregnancy, the female dog gives birth to 6 to 10 pups, eyes closed, weak bodies. From that moment, the whole pack takes on the responsibility of raising them together. After each hunt, adult dogs will regurgitate meat to share with their young and their mother, ensuring that no individual is left hungry. The young are absolutely protected in the cave until they are big enough to go out and practice running and hunting. It is this communal reproductive behavior that has created the unique strength of wild dogs. Not only as notorious predators, but also as a cohesive group, where the life of a small individual is considered the life of the whole pack. The sun gradually sets. The Okavango gradually sinks into a mysterious cloak. In this bloody arena, life and death are only a breath apart. However, it is this harshness that has created a unique paradise where beauty and evil exist together. What do you think about the brutal attack of the crocodile on the Cape buffalo? Leave a comment below the video. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series. In the middle of the blazing Arizona desert, the ground cracked under the scorching sun. quiet space, the tail vibrated, the groaning sound of death about to rise. Arizona's fierce rattlesnake and the symphony of death. The sun stood high in the clear sky, pouring white rays of sunlight onto the dry yellow land of the Arizona desert. Space trembled in the hot air, making everything seem to melt under the light. In the distance, the desert wind blew, swirling layers of fine dust that drifted like smoke. The sound of cicadas chirped monotonously, blending with the wind to form a dry song of nature. There was no sound of water, no shade of trees, only light, sand, and death lurking in the silence. On that fiery ground, each snaking mark on the sand was a sign of a creature moving slowly. A mottled shadow appeared on the hot sand, blending with the color of the earth. Only the tail gently shook, reflecting the sunlight, emitting a dry sound. It was not the sound of wind, but a warning from a predator signaling to all creatures, in this bright sunlight, death was still creeping under the sand. In the arid world of the desert, the rattlesnake was the silent ruler of a creature that carried within it the deadly beauty of nature. Its body was an average of 1 to 1.5 meters long, covered with overlapping scales like desert armor, with dark brown and silver gray patterns that helped it blend perfectly into the sand and rocks. Pale yellow eyes gleam in the sunlight, pupils like thin blades, always alert, always calculating. The triangular head, where the hollow fangs are hidden, connected to the extremely powerful venom glands. With just one bite, the hemotoxin will penetrate the prey's circulatory system, destroying tissue and coagulating blood in just a few seconds, turning each hunt into a short, precise, and cruel song. What makes it a symbol of the Americas is its special tail. Every time it vibrates, the hollow horn rings collide with each other, creating a cracking sound. Rattlesnakes do not hunt in the dark, but use the light of day to ambush. They feel every little vibration through their belly and tongue, reading the heartbeat of their prey in the sand. The slightest movement is enough to make the triangular head spring up, ready to strike a fatal blow. Despite its reputation as an assassin, rattlesnakes do not kill in vain. It only attacks when threatened, or when hunger forces its instincts to speak up. The sun scorched the ground, turning the entire desert into a giant furnace. In the middle of the golden sand, a small mouse was crouching down to look for dry seeds around the base of the cactus. It moved cautiously, stopping occasionally, its ears constantly twitching to listen to the vague sounds in the wind. Not far away, a rattlesnake lay curled up between the gravel and the rocks, its body completely motionless. Each pattern on its scales blended with the sand color, making it almost disappear from sight. Only its yellow eyes narrowed, following each small heartbeat ahead. The mouse moved closer. It had no idea that death was right at its feet. In a blink, its triangular head sprang up. The bite was as fast as lightning. The mouse only had time to be startled. Then its whole body trembled. Collapsing in the sun, the snake let go, backed away, calmly waiting. The venom was doing its work. The blood coagulated, the breathing stopped, life stilled. A few minutes later, as the desert returned to silence, the rattlesnake began to slither in. It opened its mouth, swallowing its prey whole with each rhythmic contraction. Each movement was slow, precise, an ancient ritual of nature. On the hot sand, there was only the sound of wind and the bells gently ringing in the sun, a short, cruel song, but also an absolute testament to the perfection of survival. After the blood feast, the rattlesnake slowly slithered to a shady crevice. Its belly bulged, moving heavily with each breath. The sunlight reflected off its dark brown scales, making its body shine like burning metal. In this seemingly deadly desert, life was still being nurtured in silence. A few days later, when the hunger was gone, its instincts arose again. No longer a predator, it became a seeker of continuation. The breath of the ground carried the scent of a female snake, leaving a faint pheromone trail on the sand. The male snake slithered along that scent path, through gravel, through thorny bushes and scorching sun, not for food, but for the call of genetics. In the dry land, two males met. They raised their front bodies high, coiled around each other like two living ropes, wrestling in a dance without roars. When the weaker one is pushed down on the sand, the winner quietly slithers away, looking for the waiting female snake. Mating takes place in silence, in the scorching midday sun. No affection, no attachment, just a continuation of ancient instincts, written by the breath and temperature of the desert. A few months later, the female snake chooses a sheltered place under a rock, where the ground is still warm but not too dry. There, she gives birth to a litter of tiny babies, each only a few dozen centimeters long, carrying the existing venom as the first gift of survival. The babies open their eyes, their small tails vibrate gently, emitting a weak sound like the opening bell of a new symphony. Without their mother watching over them, they disperse, slithering in different directions, starting their own journey in the sea of burning sand. Under the blazing sun, the cycle of survival is closed again. The predator, the breeder, the hunted, all joined in the endless cycle of the desert. And somewhere, the bells rang again, signaling a new generation of silent rulers. The sun hung high in the Arizona sky. The desert wind blew through the fine sand, obscuring the traces of the night before. Beneath the rock, where the young snakes had just left, the mother snake lay motionless for a long time, her body exhausted from breeding. She inhaled the heat of the earth, felt her heart still beating, then slowly slithered away. There was no rest in this world. Life had to continue, even with the last of its strength. The mother snake silently crawled across the bare ground, where the small thorn bushes trembled in the hot wind. Every movement was a challenge, but her eyes still shone with the familiar calm of one who had experienced hundreds of life and death battles. Suddenly, a shadow tore across the ground. From the deep blue sky, a screech echoed the call of death. The serpent eagle, a specialized bird of prey with wingspans of nearly 2 meters, was swooping down from a dizzying height. The glowing yellow eyes locked on the small body of a rattlesnake in the golden sand sea. The snake stopped. Its tail shook slightly, crackling, a dry warning sound, words of struggle. There was an eerie silence. In the distance, the faint crackling sound rang out one last time before fading away in the wind. But in the crevice of the rocks in the distance, a baby snake that had just hatched yesterday was crawling slowly in the shade. Its body was slender. Its tail had only a small bell, emitting a weak crackling sound every time it moved. It did not understand how cruel this world was, but its instincts told it. It had to crawl away, had to find shelter, had to live. The ground burned beneath her, the heat rising from the sand making the air blur. In the distance, insects, the wind, and somewhere else, a quick, short, sharp sound. A roadrunner appeared on the sand. It was no ordinary bird. With terrifying speed and precise reflexes, a roadrunner was a baby snake's nightmare. With a slender figure, tall legs, and a straight neck, the roadrunner doesn't fly much, it runs. And runs at speeds of up to 32 kilometers per hour, so fast that the naked eye can hardly follow. Each of its footsteps is deeply imprinted on the sand, like short notes of life in the middle of a deadly desert. The dark brown fur, mixed with black, with a few white stripes reflecting the sunlight, helps it blend into the hot ground. The large eyes, with thick black fur, shine with a mischievous look, always observing, always calculating. On its head is a small crest that stands upright, shaking slightly every time it prepares to rush forward, like a flag signaling an imminent attack. The baby snake stops. raises its head. Its small tongue sticks out, feeling the vibrations in the air. In front of it is an enemy born to test its existence. The roadrunner stretches its body, its muscular legs gripping the sand. A moment of silence, as tense as a string. Then, whoosh, it lunged. It escaped death for the first time, and perhaps not the last. In the harsh sunlight, the small tail vibrated softly again. A young but determined bell, marking the beginning of a new symphony of survival for the next generation. Years passed. From a small creature hiding in the shade, the rattlesnake had now become a seasoned predator. Its body more than 1.5 meters long, its scales as dark as hot steel, shining in the desert afternoon sun. It slithered slowly across the dry, cracked land, where the wind carried the smell of dust and traces of life. Every movement was now no longer cautious, but full of confidence, the calm of one who understood the rules of the game of survival. In this desert, it was a warning, a silent death, a bell that stopped all other creatures. But today, that silence was about to be broken. A long black shadow its skin was lighter, smooth and slippery, moving gracefully like a strip of living water. In the suffocating heat of the desert, King Snake moved silently across the burning sand like a No noise, no hurry, every step it took had a purpose. It was a predator with the heart of a warrior, and the enemy it sought was not weak prey, but other killers. Unlike most snakes that used venom to defeat their opponents, King Snake did not possess poison, but had a more fearsome weapon, strong muscles, and the ability to resist the venom of its own kind. King Snake hunted with patience and cold calculation. It followed the scent trail on the sand, felt every small vibration under the ground, and only acted when sure. Under the blazing sun, King Snake's shadow stretched across the sand, its body undulating like a black lava about to erupt. No one knew that in the next few seconds, the encounter between the two rattlesnake assassins and King Snake would turn this quiet land into a death arena. They stopped when they were only a few meters apart. Two pairs of golden eyes faced each other, no sound, no movement. A moment of silence, then the fight broke out. The bell stopped. The space fell into absolute silence. King Snake loosened its grip, its head lowered, opening its mouth to swallow its opponent's head. The scene was slow, cold, and cruel, a natural ritual where the hunter and the hunted switched roles in just a moment. In the middle of the sand sea, there was only the sound of wind and heat, witnessing a symphony of survival that had just ended with the death of the one who carried the fateful bell. The hot winds blew by, carrying the traces of the hunter and the hunted, all disappearing as if they had never existed. But somewhere in the sand, the small bell still rings softly, the sound of continuity, of a circle of survival that never stops. Because in this harsh world, death does not end life, but only opens a new piece of music in the symphony of nature. Does the rattlesnake have a rare chance to win against the king snake? Leave a comment below the video. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series.